Morning, we're calling the October 7th, 2019 General Government Meeting to order. First up, we need approval of the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, the same. Passes unanimously. Move on to item 3, public comment. Any public? I don't think we have any public. Okay, moving on to item 4. We need approval of the minutes. Unless there are any changes, need approval of the minutes from September 9th as presented. Support?
Yep.
We have a motion and support. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Passes unanimously. Appointments. There we go. Next up, 4B, our appointments for general government. We have a few here today, not too bad. Board of Canvassers, current member, this term will run till 2023, October of 2023. Current member is Roger Warren. This is a Republican member of the Board of Canvassers. He has not reapplied. We have 3 applicants: Robert Duke, Ray Snell, Nicholas Finn.
I'll make a motion to move Ray Snell.
Any other motions or nominations? There's no other nominations. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Okay, we'll send Ray Snell's name to the full board. The Democratic member, same term of October of 2023. Currently Sandra Marsh. She has not reapplied. We have Louise Adams, Douglas Harris, Robert Hoffman. Do we have any nominations? Douglas Harris. Any other nominations? Okay, all in favor of Douglas Harris, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. We'll send him to the full board. We have a land bank representative. This will be a city representative. The term is through October 2023. David Taylor, and he's reapplied. Other nominations? Okay, I'll nominate David, simply because he's the only guy there. And he's the current serving member too, so he's been there for about 5-6 years. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Passes unanimous. Next up, we have the Register of Deeds semi-annual report. Welcome, Mona.
Good morning. For those maybe I haven't met, I'm the Chief Deputy in the Register of Deeds office. Mine's short and sweet. How's that? Can you hear me? This year so far, I've run all my totals through September 30th. Our budget review, county transfer tax, we're up 91.75%. So we're seeing some good sales so far this year. Our other revenues, some are below, some are where they should be, but we're watching our budget and we'll make necessary adjustments if needed. Recordings as of September 30th, we've got a small decrease from last year. We've recorded 20,390 documents. That's about 820 less. Mortgage foreclosures, though, numbers continue to drop. We're down to 120 through September, which is 33 less than 2018. And I've also included a breakdown of those sheriff's foreclosure documents by township for each of you to see for your respective areas. E-recordings. We've recorded over 8,285 documents through September, which includes the treasurer's forfeiture documents. We continue to increase each year in e-recordings, which does help because we're only a staff of 3, and we're up to 40%. Excuse me. As you know, on the second floor, we have a kiosk because there's more than one department up there. Our staff of 3 clerks have served 4,123 customers that took tickets, which means mostly people coming in off the street, excuse me, recording a document, purchasing copies, questions regarding property, or using our track index. Those, though, that don't take a ticket that we see every day is like UPS, FedEx, title companies, which drop off anywhere from 1 to 25, 30 documents at a time. But that's basically my update. We're plugging away. Any questions? Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, everybody. Amy Guerrero, representing the Enterprise Group, the Brownfield Authority, and the EDC. We did request that we just give a verbal report this month. We had some manufacturing day obligations, and we didn't get a written report. EDC, we've referred EDC loans to a couple of people. We have not had any applications, so there's not much to report there. Brownfields, I thought you all have probably had your fill of brownfields. I've been here so much, but we have approved, if we include the plan that was adopted in December of last year for Jackson Self-Storage, the county has approved 4 brownfield plans: Jackson Self-Storage, Dollar General, Diversified Engineering and Plastics, and American One Credit Union. And those we are administering in addition to the 5 that we already had active. And that investment during this past year, including that one in December, is $4.64 million of private investment in the community. So I'm happy to answer any questions, but we've done a lot of brownfield education and reporting. So if there are no questions, that's our report.
Amy, have we applied for a new federal monies?
Yes, thank you for reminding me about that. We did apply for a grant, and we did not receive a grant this year. I have not had any offer for a debriefing from the EPA, which they usually offer, but unfortunately, we did not get a grant. So, as I always like to remind you, and I know Chairman Shotwell is very keen on sustainability for brownfield funds, one of the advantages of adopting these brownfield plans is once the obligations to repay the developer are taken care of over the years, then the Brownfield Authority itself gets 5 years of that captured tax increment to help sustain the program. And we will continue to apply for grants. We usually apply for them every year. We have real good success. Over the years, I think we've administered in excess of $4.3 million in brownfield grants from the EPA. Any other questions? Thank you. We're trying. That was one reason we were so busy with Manufacturing Day, is to expose career paths.
How was manufacturing?
It went well. There were 13 companies that participated. Jackson College and Baker College both hosted luncheons. I think there were about 600 that were anticipated to go through the companies. One of those, and some of those students are at Lomar, which are 7th grade students, and the rest of them are Jackson High freshmen that go to the 13 companies that are close geographically to the city. One reason it's only one school right now, and companies that are close, is just because of the bus routes and getting the kids transported and back to the school to get home in their normal school day. But it was very successful. I was not in that day, but I know that they had very good press coverage. There was radio coverage, MLive, JTV, so I think it was a very successful event. Thank you very much. Good morning. I have your annual apportionment report for you for your review and approval. All units have reported on their tax rate request forms. Any errors that were found were corrected and reissued. So everyone's in this year, everything looks good. These are the tax rates being levied this year by all authorities and taxing units. And I would be happy to answer any questions. No, those are REN zones. So a REN zone, only debt applies to a REN zone. So that's just a kind of a separate entity. They don't pay normal millage, they only pay debt. Yes. Thank you.
So moved. Support.
Good morning. Good morning. I am here to report on August's financial statements. Our benchmark for the expenditures is 8/12 of our month. Year is 66.6%. Year-to-date, we're at 66%, so we're right on target for our expenditures at the end of August. For our revenue, we're taking a look at the year-to-date 3-year average, and that's 46.4%. And at the end of August, it was 46.6%, so we're a little bit higher in our revenue percentages based on the 3-year percent, which is good. Were there any questions that the commissioners had on August's financial statements? Okay.
Thank you. Good morning. So the County Parks Department was approached in August regarding potentially acquiring a 40-acre property at the confluence of the Grand and Portage Rivers in Blackman Township. So we'd consider this a strategic property that fits into the goals of the County Parks Department, providing great access to water, and it fills a void in Blackman Township where we don't currently have a county park. We've talked a lot about over the years how our county trail system is the backbone of our park system, both the water trail and the land trail, and this provides pretty close connections to both of those with the new trail that we've been designing this year in Blackman Township along Parnell. This is a close connection to that, and it's located as part of the Upper Grand River Water Trail Development Plan as well. So at this point, basically, we're just seeking permission to go through the process of getting a couple of appraisals, which would be required for a grant application that we would apply for in March of 2020. We would come back to this board before we apply for the grant for a resolution of support. But at this point, again, it's just permission to begin the process, basically.
Has Blackman Township looked into potentially acquiring the property, thus having the responsibility financially to maintain it rather than us?
Have they looked into it? Is that what the question? I don't, I'm not actually sure about that. I know that the DNR was approached and a couple of land conservancies were approached, but I'm not entirely sure about Blackman Township.
And the upside you see of the county acquiring this is basically that it's going to serve a need that we don't have in Blackman Township, and that because it's close to a waterway? Is that the key reasons?
Yeah, and there's a lot of population there, obviously, and there's a little bit of a void for a county park. And I think anytime we can get a property on a body of water is very attractive to the county parks department, especially two rivers like that, right where they come together. It's opportunities for land trails throughout the property, but also providing access with kayaking and canoeing along the rivers there.
So I see you want to go forward with an appraisal. Will someone be looking at what type of overhead costs this is going to add to the budget?
That would be part of the process too, yes.
Okay, thanks.
Any further questions? I have one. I don't see in here, maybe I missed it. What's the cost of obtaining two appraisals?
So I think the entire process here that we're proposing wouldn't go over $15,000 as far as securing the option to purchase it. That would include the appraisals as well. The appraisals would be $500 apiece or so.
Okay. Commissioner Bear?
Good morning. Can you tell me what's your best guess at what the purchase cost will be for these 48 acres?
I think it would be a guess, but I think we've estimated maybe around $160,000. So with this type of a grant application, a minimum match of 25% would be for the
But you're
county.
guessing around $3,000 an acre.
Correct.
Okay.
Any further questions? If not, I need a motion of support to let the parks proceed with appraisals.
Support.
You have motion support. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, the same. Passes unanimously. Move on to 4H, Cascades Golf Court lease.
Okay, so you have before you an option to begin a new lease for the Cascades Golf Course for some golf carts. We went through the process of receiving two quotes. We did go with the lower quote. It's a cost of about $65,000 a year. Just a little bit of background on revenue for golf carts. We bring in about $122,000 a year. That's what we have budgeted for this year and next year both. This item was approved last week at the County Parks Board meeting.
Questions? Discussion? Okay, I need a motion and support if we want to send this to the whole board. Support. We have a motion support. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Passes unanimously. It'll go to the full board. Now before Parks Audio and Visual System for the American Event Center. Welcome, Jeff.
Welcome. Yes, we are now approaching, there's some lead times on equipment to operate. So these are operational expenses, and audio-visual equipment is the first of those that we're bringing to you. This will allow us to buy, basically, in layman's terms, the TVs, the computers, the sound, all of the types of equipment that not only we need to operate internally, but our customers who rent the facility will expect to be available to them with the modern technology to do public meetings, presentations, those types of events that will, and even in today's age, all of our wedding receptions will expect those kinds of audio-visual types of technology. So we have put it out, requests for proposals. I'll sit here and tell you I got into the detail of reading very extensive pages of specs on connectors and wire sizes and all of that, but I didn't. We put them out there to the professionals and came back and then had them reviewed by our IT department and are satisfied that we've gotten the best price.
Discussion? Commissioner Tompkins?
They came from a lot of places, but this particular proposal, the company has an office or started here in Jackson. They have offices in Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids also, but they're originally and continue to have a Jackson office.
Commissioner Bear?
I was looking at these three proposals, and I'm not sure what was in the RFP, what they were supposed to propose on, but the proposals are covering different amounts of equipment. Challenger has, the cameras are one thing that was easy to look up and give you a comparison. Challenger proposed 4 security cameras, CTI proposed 8, Integrated Smart Technologies from Jackson proposed 6 cameras. How are we getting such a discrepancy in that type of product? Are we getting that same discrepancy in other equipment as well?
Because each one has they're the professionals, and each one has their opinion of the type of equipment that should be used, and based on the type of equipment that's used, that affects the coverageability of the equipment. So we did not, in this case, it's a request for proposals as opposed to giving them a set of specs in a bid. We did not choose to hire a separate company to write a very extensive set of specifications. We instead put out proposals and went directly to the people. We would have hired one of these people, which would have then disqualified them from bidding on the project, to write the spec package, and they would have charged us an extensive amount of money. We chose to skip that process and actually put out the proposals and let each one offer their opinion on what types of equipment ought to be used. And there's so many different in the world of technology, so many different types of equipment and cameras that have different levels of coverage, different levels of their quality. So each one offered up their quite frankly, their professional recommendation. And that's why you have that variance. And you'll see that also in wiring and connectors and a lot of detailed stuff. The only areas where there's some consistency in what their recommendations are would be in the LED screens, because we gave them the specific locations of each LED screen. But even there were differences in the recommended quality. So it took a long time. We've been working on this for months and months, trying to vet this to make sure we were getting the products that we feel will best meet our needs.
Well, if each bidder was allowed to present to us their opinion of what we needed, what criteria do we use to determine which proposal is better for us?
Well, we went through and examined the quality of each of the products, the size, so we sat down and met with them over and over and over again, and then we relied internally on our IT department to support us and help us determine what they felt would be the best equipment. And that's how we've handled it. Did we get it exactly right? I guess we're going to find out. We believe that we're getting the equipment that will serve our needs best, but it isn't an exact science.
Thank you.
Any other discussion or questions?
Support.
We have a motion and support. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thanks.
Next up, we're at 4J, Administrator Controller, Community Action Agency Agreement. I think it's can be Community Development Block Grant.
I think it's pretty straightforward. Does anyone have any questions or concerns?
Everybody good to go? Any questions? Not, I need a motion of support. This goes to the full board. We have a motion of support. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Passes unanimously. Thank you. Item K, Administrator Controller again, Jackson County fee schedule for fiscal year 2020.
Yes, every year we try to, we bring the fee schedule forward for the board's approval, and we ask at all departments, elected officials and the like, evaluate their fees, make sure they are meeting the costs associated with the services they provide. That is a fee for service, and put it on here. So some will go up, but of course you can see it's 12 pages. Not all things do change, but we'll be seeking approval for the board.
Or do you have discussion? You looked over your list, I assume?
I do.
Mr. Kennedy?
I'm trying to find it. I saw it last.
Microphone on?
It is.
Okay.
Can you, I'm trying to find it. I can't. If you give me a second, I'll locate it. I thought I saw a couple that had absolutely no fees previously, and now they do. Am I correct? Could have swore I saw that. Just a brief explanation of why there was no cost before and why we'll be passing that on now.
If I can, I included the health department increases that were previously approved, just to keep everything in one schedule, because that's what we typically do, is try to keep it in one schedule. So for consistency purposes, I left those in there, but those were already approved last month to be effective October 1st. So I left them in there because next year I anticipate that we will keep health department together, because they always have been. But those fees were approved last month, if it's regarding the health department. With regard to changes in their fees,
There was some new ones. Basically, where there's a new fee, it's either, and I don't, without having Don here specifically on that one there, whether there's what has changed, is that a new service, or is that just something that was performed before without a fee, just free?
Everything costs some kind of time.
Someone can email me, I'm assuming. Yeah, okay.
Okay, any further discussion on the fee structure for 2020? No discussion, need a motion and support? We have motion and support to send this to the full board. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Passes unanimously. 4L, Administrator Controller, Policy 3380, Equal Employment Opportunity.
Again, EEO, pretty straightforward. Anyone have any questions or concerns, or?
There's no comment, concerns, or discussion. I need a motion and support. Send it to the full board. We have a motion and support. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Passes unanimously. We'll be at 4M. Another Administrator Controller topic, Policy number 3270, Leave Time Subsidy.
Again, much the same. It's pretty straightforward. You can see minor change. We're just updating policies. Some of them require a lot more updating. Some, it's just minor, and we change the date, the way it's effective. Everyone knows we've looked at it more recently, and therefore, we bring it to board.
Discussion, questions, motion and support. We need something here.
Support.
We have a motion support. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, the same. Passes unanimously. Move on to item 5. Make sure we paid the claims. We have a motion and support. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same. See no other minutes. November reporting schedule. Coming up, but I don't think anything was there. Okay, item 6, public comment. No public comment, let's see Brad. Nope. Committee member comments. No committee member comments. Meeting will be adjourned, 10:30.